Hello, welcome. As you may know, I recently asked on Twitter, what is your dream move update for the next season of Go Battle League? Well, today is the day. Your ideas, good and bad, are going to be put to the test, and they are going to be ranked. We are going to be ranking them on a tier list. We have S, which is the best of the best, A, B, C, D, and straight to jail. If your idea ends up in straight to jail, please know disrespect is intended. Bad idea. I'm talking incinerate Chansey levels of not cooking. If we're all on the same page, okay. Now I went through this tweet. We have 150 responses. Today's going to be a wild one. Number one on our tier list, all mid-tier water moves should do 5 more damage. Now, when we're talking about mid-tier water moves, we're talking Aqua Jet. So we're talking like Razor Shell, Octazooka, Muddy Water, Aqua Jet, and Brine, each doing 5 more damage. I was really on board with this at first until I realized Brine was in that category. We're really giving love to Brine. That's crazy. Someone in chat says Surf. Surf is 1.66 damage per energy. I don't think we can call that mid-tier. I think because Brine is in here, I was going to put this in A. I think I have to put this in C. I'm down with everything except Brine. And Brine is definitely mid-tier, but Toxapex is too good, man. We can't be buffing Toxapex. All right, Mr. Custom Approach, you have been put in C tier. Next up, we have regional and international champion, the Frenchman Tonton Battus. His first one is going to be Mud Slap nerf in terms of damage. Now, this is for this season. I disagree. I don't think Mud Slap is overwhelming in terms of damage. You do have to, when planning a team, plan for Mud Slap, but I don't think it's so overwhelming to the point where it has to be reduced instantly. That's going in D. That's going in D. I cannot agree with a Mud Slap nerf right now. Next up, Volt Switch to bad electric types to compensate for the fact that they can't one-shot things because of Thundershock doing no damage. This is a great idea. This is terrific. Tauntaun immediately redeeming himself after the Mud Slap take. This is a huge win. I love buffing Mons that are bad and still being kind of bad, but they have more play. So we're going to move this all the way up to A tier. Volt Switch on bad electric types, that's my kind of buff. I love it. I love it. And he says, release Shadow Cofagrigus so we can get return as better coverage. Purified Cofagrigus, I think it is a fine idea. I don't think it will see a ton of play personally, just because the Astonish users are just more overwhelming in terms of the ghost damage. But overall, I don't hate that idea. So overall, we're going to put this in B. All right, we move to the next, and that's Wholesome. Wholesome says, Breaking Swipe nerf reverted, Icicle Spear nerf reverted. Basically, all these are reverting nerfs to Nidoqueen, Razor Leaf, Wing Attack, Sky Attack, Rock Slide, Body Slam, Counter, Hydro Cannon, Scald, Surf, Earthquake, Charm, Brine, Mudshot, Lock On Damage buff, Leaf Blade, Registeel, Smackdown nerf, Moonblast nerf, Bubble Beam energy decreased, Steel Wing nerf reverted, Pound nerf reverted. Alright. This right here is going into A tier because it's very good trolling. It doesn't go to jail because he's trolling. The fact that he took the time out of his day to write this long of a message, it's immediate A tier. This is posted at like 3:50 p.m. You know, bro, probably working 9 to 5. It's like an hour until he has to go home, and he's like, man, I don't want to start a new project. Sees a terrible tweet and is like, this is how I waste the time. So purely for wasting the time while on the clock and trolling this much, I'm sorry, I will accept no other answer other than A tier. PvP Steve next. I think if we give one more move to Claydol, it will be good. He's cooking here. Claydol needs more charge moves. We're putting this in the B tier, ever so slightly behind Shadow Cofagrigus. One more move to Claydol is good stuff. I want to feel physical pain every time I have to TM my Claydol. I'm close. I'm very close to every time that I TM Claydol feeling physical pain. If we add more charge moves, we can get there. All right, next up we have Jangles. Jangles writing us an essay here. I'll be honest, I didn't read all this. The first one is Water Gun +1 energy. This is a buff to Water Gun Lantern. I don't like it. I don't want Lantern to be good. Lantern has a well-deserved nickname, the RPS Fish. Mountain Dugong in my chat is yelling that Spark Lantern, the fish has to pay for the sins of Spark. We're going in a D tier. Not as bad as Mudslap nerf, but still pretty bad take. Next up, Surf on Lugia. Lugia getting a cheap move that doesn't suck. I like this idea. Lugia is a cool mon. I'm going to put it above the trolling take. So he immediately redeems himself with Surf Lugia. Alright, let's see what else he has. Icy Wind Kyogre. Now, I have been known to be a disrespecter of Kyogre. Currently, it's very RPS. This would make it less RPS. I think that's not terrible. It wouldn't be on my top list of things to buff. I think it can go into B tier. He has Powder Snow Lapras. A Lapras buff here would be absolute cinema. We're going to put that in A. And then we have more normal type moves just as a general thing for all this. I think more normal type moves is fine. I'll put it in B. Next up, Pokédaxi, Roar of Time, Sableye. Chat, be honest. This is a win. Sableye struggling this season. What it needs is Roar of Time. This is easy S tier right here. This is what the meta needs. This will create a balanced, healthy meta. Roar of Time, Sableye. That's an easy S. All right, we have another essay here. From Yusei, we have a Peck buff. Damage and energy. Let's take a look at what even learns Peck. What learns Peck? Malamar, Talonflame, Altaria, Seaking, Dartrix, and Rough. Peck buff, I don't hate. I think having a flying fast move that isn't terrible would be kind of cool. We'll put that in B tier. Next up, Acid buff. We already have Poison Jab, which is very solid. We have Sting, which is solid. I don't know if we need more Poison. I think I'm putting this in C tier. Buffing Struggle Bug to Mudslap. Now we're actually cooking. That's unbelievable levels of cooking. Bug is a terrible offensive typing, so let's give it a very strong move. That's huge. That one, unironically really cooking. Top of A tier. The next one, we have Metal Sound, similar to Fairy Wind. Metal Sound would help out Bronzong and make Magnezone Magneton have a little bit of a different play. I don't mind a Metal Sound buff. That is fine to me. I think we can just chuck that in B tier. All right, next up we have Sand Attack, Gligar, Skarmory. Skarmory with coverage is a horrifying abomination unto the Lord. If you ever want to absolutely jump scare yourself, like, man, I haven't had a good and proper scare in a while. Look up how many defensive resistances Skarmory has compared to its weaknesses. You will be terrified. It has too many defensive resistances. I don't think we can do it. I think that's going to D tier. Next, we have giving Dragon Tail to a lot of weird stuff. Why does this kind of cook? All of the good mons that are getting it wouldn't use it. Serp could use it for coverage into flyers. I mean, it would obviously be worse, but it would be less RPS. Dragon Tail would also help the Mega as well, having a Dragon Fast move. I think I'm putting this in B. Next up, this Shadow Claw list. It's too much. I think this is our first jail. There's Vigoroth on this list. There's Rhyperior on this list. Jail. I saw Shadow Claw Annihilate. Shadow Claw Annihilate is forever jail. It is forever jail. Next up, we have another essay. Rock Throw to Sucker Punch and Moonblast, 10 more damage. Throw away the key. Straight to jail. Why are we buffing Carbink? No. No. Bullet Seed to Rollout Clone. Immediate redemption. That glow up right there is crazy. I think that's cooking. I like Shiftry. Purely from me liking Shiftry, I think this is going like here. Next up, we have Snarl to a Rollout Clone. I would like to take a moment to remind people of the mons that can learn Snarl. Mandibuzz, Guzzlord, Umbreon. Do I need to go on? We can't do this one. Bullet Seed one was so good, but the Snarl one is so bad. Buffing Umbreon is crazy work. Also Zacian. Yeah, this is jail. I'm sorry. All right, we have Waterfall becoming a Force Palm clone. No. Feraligatr has this move. Do we want Feraligatr with a Force Palm clone fast move? Walrein has this. Golisopod has it. Gyarados has it. Primarina has it. Kyogre has it. Bro, I'm putting this here because I feel bad about so much straight to jail. Force Palm is an outrageously good move. It's only given to terrible mons. That's why it doesn't seem OP. All right, Psycho Cut, 1 extra damage. I don't want Mewtwo to be better. Some people who play Masters are like, Mewtwo needs to be overpoweringly neutrally dominant. They're wrong. Yveltal exists and is already overpoweringly neutrally dominant by itself. Getting Mewtwo to that level of overpoweringly neutrally dominant means that you're going to end up in some really unfun RPS triangles. Until Yveltal is curtailed, you cannot buff Mewtwo, in my view. We are going to put this low C. Mudshot reworked to a Vine Whip, so that's giving extra fast move pressure to Quag, Whiscash, Swampert, G-Fisk, Greedent, Groudon, and Master League Landorus. I don't know if we want to make Landorus better. Oh yeah, Diggersby might actually prefer it over Quick Attack then. I think we're in D tier. And this is 3-in-1. Nerfing Dragon Tail, Smackdown, and Ice Beam. Dragon Tail would hit Guzzlord, Steelix, Hakamo-O, Como-O, Dragalge. So it doesn't hit like a ton of things. It is Zygarde though. It is Zygarde. I like a Zygarde nerf. Smackdown doesn't need a nerf. It's already very bad. Ice Beam nerf, I think, is just specifically targeting Feraligatr Azu. I don't hate this. I think this goes into C because I find them unnecessary, but I don't think any of them are outright terrible. We move to the next. We have Nuclear Ninjas, who is nerfing Poison Jab, Scald, Blizzard, Acid Spray, and Sludge Wave. Okay, this is objectively incredible. This man hates Tentacruel more than anyone I've ever met. This man was clearly playing Ultra League with Gator Double Fairy, saw 8,000 Tentacruels, and was like, this is the worst thing in my entire life. This is peak hating. This goes to the top of A. Spadoid, a top regionals competitor in chat, says, I see the vision. I agree, Spadoid. This is top of A. This is incredible. My man, did he change his team when Tentacruel swept him? No. He kept running it, and his hatred only grew. And I have to respect the persistence. Next up, we have Breaking Swipe nerf reverted. So this would help Rhyperior, Haxorus, Dragapult as the primary ones, and also a little bit Steelix, but Steelix is kind of bad. I think this cooks. I think it's solid B tier. Has been paid by the Breaking Swipe lobby. I'm a Master League player off and off. I'm sorry. All right, Ice Punch Diggersby. Giving Diggersby coverage into flyers, I think is pretty cool. You could run like Quick Attack, Ice Punch, Scorching Sands, and you end up having a mon that's actually pretty flexible. Like, it's very bulky, but I think making mons more flexible instead of less is kind of a dub. All right, Drew on an absolute heater so far. Next he says, let us Elite TM Roar of Time and Spatial Rend. That's not on the tier list, but that is just... Next up, we have World Champion. It's Axen with Force Palm, Psyshock, Metacham. I'm simming this right now. All right. Axen, you're a better battler than me. You are. You won Worlds. I respect a lot of what you've done with your content. Like, you've been able to take winning Worlds and make a really educational platform where hundreds of people tune in every night and you get to explain your plays. People get to see what it's like to compete against the best of the best. And that, dude, honestly, is so impressive. And I respect the hell out of you for that. What I can't respect is Force Palm, Psyshock, Medicham. Are you kidding me? We've spent so much time getting all these XL Mons out of the meta, and you're trying to bring it back. I know you love Medicham, but Medicham's currently in jail, and you're going right there with him. I'm sorry, Axon. Jail time for you. 25 to life, buddy. No chance at parole. What's the win rate? Like 55 to 60%. In all evens. Discharge damage buff. Oh, Charge-a-Bug. Making Charge-a-Bug so that neutrally it wouldn't have to X-Scissor. I actually don't hate that. You're being let out of jail. Top of B tier. Psywave Bronzong. I love Bronzong. I love Bronzong with my whole heart. I'm going to sim this. In the zeros, it's very strong. In the ones and twos, it gets progressively less strong. I have no qualms with this, probably because I'm a Bronzong stan. I love Bronzong. I once hit number 16 in the world in the Open Great League with a Bronzong. Bronzong's cool. We like Bronzong. We are going to put this low A tier. Nah. We'll put it behind the discharge buff. Next up, we have Reezy, who's hit rank 1 in the world before. Very, very strong battler. Bring back OG Queen and OG Weatherball stats, and I'll be fine. Weatherball was just old body slam, right? Queen in like a mud slap meta would not even be terrible. There's got to be some implication that I'm missing because this sounds fine to me. Because Queen would be incredibly strong neutrally. However, it would still be a risky bring with all the mud slap around. I think this is going to B tier. We have Boom Burst Toxtricity with the Costco guys. In the tier list, this is listed as Costco guys. Boom Burst Toxtricity. Boom Burst Toxtricity would heal the meta. S tier. We need to bring the boom. Oh my, okay. I need a new tier above S for how good of a take this is. All UL Gastro players should be put in jail. S plus tier. Above Legend Ultra League is like 95% Gastrodon usage. This is the top of S tier. This is the top of S tier. All right, next up, Kyogre, Dragon Tail, and Aqua Tail. Nope, I'm sorry. Emergency meeting. Emergency meeting. Straight to jail. Drade, please. I don't even have that on the tier list, but just know, Drade's in jail. Shadow Claw Ursaluna. I'm very curious, chat. It would be very balanced in Open Masters. It would be a very strong meta pick in Master. In Premier, it would beat everything. So by doing this, you're willingly saying your options are ban it from Premier or stop having Premier. Would you by chance, chat, like to see the One Shield in Master Premier? 78.6% win rate. It breaks Master Premier. With that in mind, chatters, give me a letter rank in chat. I will be a man of the people. The most common one that I'm seeing is actually A. I think bottom of A. All right, we're on to Yonkou Jean. Unpopular opinion. Counter more energy. Annihilate has Rage Fist, so I think this is just jail. Cheaper Icicle Spear. I think literally only Walrein has this, right? I like Walrein. Like, the Walrein Trevenant meta, here's my hot take. It was a very condensed meta, but all the Mons had play into each other, more or less. Mountain Dugong in chat says it does more damage now, so we can't just make it cheaper. Well, let's look at its stats. It's 65-40. So let's take a look. Is there a 65-35 move? Yeah, it is old body slam, but ice and 5 more damage. I'm all for a Walrein buff. I think Walrein's presence is healthy. I think this is too much. I think that'll go like D. That's a Toxapex buff. That's immediate jail. Any Toxapex buff, jail. All right. Next up, regional champion, Arceus Aurelius. Sparkling Aria, 40 energy. And Sparkling Aria given to Lapras. Now, I like a good Lapras buff. I think I'm very on board with this. So Lapras currently has Surf, which is 75-45. Sparkling Aria would be 80-40. So it would be 2 DPE, It would help Lapras have cheaper pacing and have pretty good damage per energy. I like that. I think we're going A here. All right, Thunder/Bolt being given to Lapras instead of Ice Beam is basically to give it coverage into other waters. Thunderbolt to Lapras, I think it's like a B. Because Thunderbolt is very expensive. So it's like Lantern coverage, but it's without the Lantern typing. And I really like Mons that can replicate that coverage. I think that coverage is interesting into a meta as long as it doesn't have that typing. Like Goodra's presence overall pretty healthy into a meta. Lantern's presence an overall negative into a meta. And then he's saying to buff Ice Shard too. This man just loves Lapras. That's a Dewgong buff, chat. In our haste to make Lapras god tier, we are looking at buffing Dewgong, and I don't think the council can allow a Dewgong buff. Dewgong buff is jail time. Next up, we have Mountain Dewgong with Weather Ball Meganium. I simmed this in the last meta, and I argued it was too strong. Dewgong says, don't sim it! Oh, he's such a fraud. He's such a fraud. We are looking at upper 50s win rates. My worry in this particular meta is Fire Grass coverage is interesting, but I think its addition would encourage RPS. I think there are different moves you could give to Meganium, like Grass Rock coverage, that would improve its play, but make it less RPS. We don't have a Grass type that is reliable anti-steal damage. I agree. I just don't think this is the way to implement it. I think it's upper D, just in terms of I don't like how the meta would shake out if it happened. All right, we have Revert Dig nerf. I don't see an issue with this. Like, Gligar is still hampered by the fact that Aerial Ace is bad. So even if it runs like Fury Cutter, like Aerial Ace is not great. Fury Cutter's non-stab. I think this is fine. I think we just put it C. Next up, Rock Tomb buff to Icy Wind clone. Cinema. Now we are absolutely cooking. The stuff that gets Rock Tomb is Fortress, Runerigus, Spiritomb, Kanto Sandslash, Claydol, Spinda, Magcargo, and weird stuff like Rufflet. Abhinav says, holy jail. Okay, Abhinav, talk to me. Talk to me. Talk me through why this is jail, Abhinav. Says Fortress would become too OP and annoying. Alternatively, what if we let my boy cook? All right, let's sim this for science. Uh-oh. It turns out Abhinav is a smart individual, chat. I love Fortress, and I want a Rock Tomb buff. This might be too much. To be fair, Fortress's issue as a Pokemon currently is not Rock Tomb. Its issue is that every other move but Rock Tomb is bad. Just walk with me here. Fortress. These are its options. Rock Tomb. Great. Sand Tomb, no damage and too expensive. Return, too expensive, doesn't hit anything for super effective damage. Earthquake, too expensive, non-stab. Heavy Slam, bad move. Mirror Shot, cheap, no damage. Let's take a look. Rock Tomb is 60. Icy Wind is 45. That is a 15 energy reduction. I think it's too much. So we are big fans of Fortress buff, but this is too much. We're going to put it in D tier because you had good intentions. All right. Frost Breath buffed to a Bullet Punch clone. That would be an incremental Dewgong buff. It would also help stuff like Aurorus, Walrein, Regice, Lapras. But also at the same time though, it is a 2-turn. So it's better stats and it's 2 turns. So that's more of a buff than I was considering. I think we can't do it. I know his name is Mountain Dewgong, so he's trying to buff our boy Dewgong. But I think this is going in D tier. I'm sorry. Next up, we have Bug Bite buff. This is terrific. Bug sucks offensively. The stuff that learns Bug Bite is chargeable. Oh, hold on. That's an Araquanid buff. I take it all back. Nope. I was so on board until I remembered Araquanid had it. This thing already beats Azu in the zeros. Straight resisted damage. We can't Araquanid buff. We can't do it. Jail time. This is like buffing Toxapex. All right, next he says Mud Slap Swalot. Mountain Dugong, I feel like the next regional we are at, you owe me a beer for making me sim Swalot. In the ones, we're at 22 and 13. In the twos, we're 15 and 19. In the zeros, we're 19 and 16. I'm leaning towards C. Wait, hold on. Swalot learns Acid Spray, chat. If there's anything we need in the meta, it's a Mud Slapper with Acid Spray. Based on its regular moveset, I think it'd be fine. But it has Acid Spray. I think that's going in D. I'm sorry. Next up, we have LNDST Steiner, a top finisher at NAIC, a regional champion, very good battler. Fly Altaria. Let's sim it. It's basically just bringing Altaria back to its glory. I don't hate this. I think I'm going to put it at B. I think I'm putting it at the bottom of B, but I don't mind this. Next take, Incinerate Damage Nerf. I can't agree. Let's go back to this previous regional. How many Incinerate users are being used? There's like none in this meta right now. Talon has died. Typhlosion fell off the face of the earth. Like like, I think this goes in C just because I don't think they're being used. I am willing to revisit this, but currently I don't feel it's necessary. But we did see a lot of SERP A/ cores at LAIC. All right, SS Thorn, Nightshade Clefable. He is Clefable's strongest soldier. We are gonna sim this. I like the idea, like, make it be less RPS. The sims don't bear it out well, so I'm putting it in C. It's fine. I'll put it at the bottom of B. Like, it's not going to make it much better, but it will make our good friend SS Thorn happy. All right, next up, Sand Attack Sylveon. I am fully expecting that this is going to get a very high ranking from me. In the grand scheme of things, it would make it a more flexible fairy type. Like, it's very strong in zeros, but in the ones and twos, it's about the same, and it would just give it more flexibility. I think it's cooking. I think it's cooking. Yeah. I think it's going to A. Bjorno says boosted damage, Psy Strike, and Geomancy. Jail. We can't buff Mewtwo. I know Yasser wants to buff Mewtwo. Yasser is also going to jail. Mewtwo Psywave. That is the Yasser suggestion. There needs to be a tier below jail. Gulag tier. Brave Bird 55 to 50 energy. A cheaper Brave Bird. He is trying to turn Ho into a god. All I see is a Galar Moltres buff and a Skarmory buff and a Talonflame buff. And I don't think we're doing that, Chief. I don't think this is it. Bubbling up on Brave Birds, Elodie Colo, buddy. I'm sorry. 10 to 15 years. Possibility for parole in 5 years. Meteor Mash cheaper energy. So Meteor Mash from 50 to 45 to try and make Metagross actually competitive again. This to me is very fine. Metagross has been very power crept for a very long time. Earthquake is now a pretty bad coverage move. Giving it a bit of love, I have no qualms with. This is just a good take. This is an A. All right, next up, chat. We are gonna vote. Kill Rhyperior in the streets. It's being suggested with Shadowclaw Ursaluna. And I think with Shadowclaw Ursaluna, Rhyperior becomes a lot less of a problem. So I think I'm gonna put this in like C. He is buffing enough free-to-play stuff that like it's okay. ATN says he's doing it for Ho-Oh jail. 06 pick 3 best of 3 that doesn't require Discord. This is an S tier take. It's not on the tier list, but please, hey chat, listen to this idea, and I dare someone to be like, man, this idea is trash. Niantic add, other games have this, a weekend league where Saturday and Sunday they have a show 6 pick 3 style tournament. Whoever wins it can earn like 5 championship points, some Stardust, some TMs, and it's show 6 pick 3. That would go insane. Next we have Sucker Punch or Double Kick Mr. Rhyme. Giving unserious Pokemon good moves is always going to be a huge win for me. Easy A tier. We have Rollout Chestnut. A grass fighter with rock coverage is actually sick. Yeah, it would be a side grade. This to me is A. I like interesting side grades. The next one I have on my list is Lick plus 1 damage, and Lick being given to Ursaluna. So let's take a look at Lick stats here. So Lick plus 1 damage, it'd be 3.53 as a 1 turn. Oh no, that's 4-3. That's 4-3. Nope. Absolutely not. Jail. All right. Next we have Astonish Dartrix. I'm expecting to like this one. Give an unserious Pokemon a fun fast move. It seems way worse in ones. Holy. I had high hopes, but it's just a downgrade. Unfortunately, that's going to D because it just doesn't help it. It just makes it worse in the 1s and 2s. So like the idea of a Dartrix buff is like B or A tier, but that just makes it worse. All right, next up we have Jamie Finn, Sucker Punch Skuntank, and Force Palm Poliwrath. Just a Force Palm Poliwrath. Jamie is being sent to a British jail. Jamie, I love you, but British jail. Acoin, Breaking Swipe Altaria plus Earthquake. This is going to be an easy S tier suggestion. Acoin knows how to balance a meta, so easy S tier. This is great stuff. I love when Altaria beats Bastiodon. This is terrific stuff. 11 out of 10. Finally, we are tapping in here to our noggins. Hisui Samurott Sucker Punch. This is going to be an A tier suggestion. It's still bad, and anytime you make a terrible mon less bad, that's a win from me. This person said make Leaf Blade into a Knight/clone. So Leaf Blade, for those who don't know, is 70-35. So this would be taking 20 damage away from Leaf Blade in exchange for a 1 in 8 chance of a +2. I don't like chance moves. So this to me is just make more mons into roulette wheels and take away 20 damage. I think this is just bad. I hate roulette wheel Pokemon, so we're putting it in D tier. Tommy W. Psywave Latios would be extremely fun. It's kind of, yeah. It's not too overpowered. It would just make it fun. But like Psywave Latios, Yveltal would be a problem for it, but it wouldn't be strong enough to see top meta usage. I think this is just a great suggestion. Like, Yveltal is an issue if you give Psywave to Mewtwo, because Mewtwo is already a great Master League Mon. Latios is not a good Master League Mon, so it just makes a bad Mon okay, but it's not going to have the usage to where Yveltal is going to turn it into an RPS triangle, because it won't be used by much. It'll just be a fun anti-meta pick. So yeah, Psywave Latios is great. Shadow Claw Groudon. If you frighten easily, look away. This is the zeros. 80.6% meta win rate in the zeros in the Masters. Here's the thing. I want to put it in jail, but I love the idea of a Groudon buff so much that I think I'm going to sneak it into low D tier. Moonblast Alolan Ninetales. So it's just a slight buff to Alolan Ninetales. It's not going to affect its charm status too much. It's mainly just, it will help the Powder Snow variant a little. Low A. Because it's a meaningful buff, but it doesn't break anything. All right, here we go. Next up, we have the homie Emmanuel saying Crunch on Herdier. Already, I don't have to sim this. It's B tier. Giving bad mons moves, I'm always a fan of. Herdier currently is stuck with all nukes. It's Dig, Player of Thunderbolt. Giving Herdier a bait move, terrific stuff. All right, Yawn becomes viable. Ping Deezy. Welcome to prison, bud. You can't even give like a bad fast move to Slacking. It has to stay absolutely horrendous. You can't even give it a bad fast move or it'll destroy the Master League. We were simming at one point like a truly atrocious fast move on Slacking, and it's still at like an 80% meta win rate. Bubble X's or Araquanid. Anyone who tries to buff Araquanid will be sent to prison for their crimes. Shadow Claw Empoleon. I like the idea, but I'm worried about giving too many things Shadow Claw, but I like this overall. The thing we're going to look at is Psywave Hypno. I'm expecting this is going to be too good, and this is going to end up in jail tier. It's simming better, but it's not simming broken. I was expecting it to be broken. Yeah, it's just better, but not overpoweringly so. 20 and 15. Like, I love the idea of a Psywave Hypno buff. I'm torn. That 2 shield, like 66% win rate. Malamar's 2-shield win rate is even. Whereas Hypno was simming at like a 2/3 win rate. I think I have to go D. I'm sorry. Mudslap Grumpig. Already a huge fan. Again, this is always going to have a soft spot in my heart. Grumpig's thing is it's stuck with extra sensory as its fast move. And it only has nukes. So it's absolutely awful. Giving it Mudslap, would it make it good? No, but that's not the point. Its 2-shield win rate goes from 2 wins out of 40 to 5 wins out of 40. It's still so bad. Alright, I think I have to put Mudslap Grumpig in D tier. Santos says Bubble Blastoise. I think I put it C, because like it's a slight improvement, but it's not. It's not doing much for it. Focus Blast Oranguru. I think it's just too slow. Like, it gives it dark coverage, and it wants dark coverage. But I think it's just too slow to accomplish what you would want to accomplish. I guess we can do C tier. Charmander, Jail. Alright, next up we have Shadowclaw Armaldo. Unsurprisingly from Gengar Life. This is going to be easy S tier for me. Armaldo's the GOAT, and we should give it a fast move that doesn't suck. Psywave Nihilego. I like Nihilego a lot. I think that I am going to have to say that I don't want this. Because Nihilego's issue is not a fast move. Nihilego's issue is it needs steel coverage. Give it steel coverage and it will cook. But until it gets steel coverage, it's very uncomfortable. So I like the idea of buffing Nihilego, but I don't think that's what it needs. Lovely Lunar Lady says Psychic reverted since Medicham is a non-issue. I have no qualms with reverting Psychic because Medi's already going to be bad. And like Psychic is just like a coverage move that a lot of stuff likes. This is just an objectively good take. I like S tier on this. Dragon Claw and Dragon Breath Noivern would actually be fun. Karate Chop Electivire, Weather Ball Torkoal, a cheaper move for Lugia, Astonish Golbat Crobat. Can we take a moment? Is this the best grouping of buffs we've ever seen? Just these by themselves. Cooking so hard. As far as these, I don't want a waterfall buff, but like, ignore the stuff on the bottom. Fly Zard with a buffed fast move. I don't really think Zard's issue is Fly. I just think it needs a fast move that doesn't suck. I think I'm gonna put Fly Zard in D. I'll put it in C. I like buffing Zard, but I don't think that's the way to do it. Flywalker, who I think has done regionals before. Fury Cutter +1 damage to make it a Psywave clone. Now, Fury Cutter is like Lurantis, Gligar, Samurott, Golisopod, Scizor, Genesect. Makes Gligar better, but I don't think it returns Gligar to its, because it's non-stab. I think this is just a really good take. Volt Switch Emolga. Volt Switch Emolga, I have no qualms with. I think Volt Switch Emolga can go into A. Next one we have on our list is Viable Fast Move for Torterra. This came up a couple times. I think Torterra getting a Viable Fast Move would be very cool. I like Viable Fast Move Torterra. I looked at Torterra in this meta before realizing that Razor Leaf is atrocious. I think this is just A tier. Our next one is a Master League take. Crispy Chris, Stone Edge Tapu Bulu. If it learns it in the main series, I think this is a sick adjustment. Because Bulu is a really good core breaker, but one of its issues is its RPS matchup into Ho-Oh. This still would mean it's pretty helpless against the steals, but this is just a great change. And Earth Power Nihilego, Crisp Fly Lugia, the Icy Wind Kyogre that we already liked. Another very good list. Stone Edge Bulu, I think I'm going to put in the upper end of B. Next up, Indigo, unnerf Wing Attack, and then give it to Hawlucha. I like the idea of Hawlucha being better. Unnerfing Wing Attack has a lot of Gligar-related implications. So I think this will be D tier, but giving Hawlucha a good flying fast move, I think would be like A. Next up, nerfing Hydro Cannon. I have a hot take on nerfing Hydro Cannon. I think this is jail worthy. I think Gator, being as strong as it is, one could even call it slightly broken. I think that's a healthy presence in the meta. because it's very hard to RPS Gator energy, and that allows for a lot more skillful play. We want Mons that have flexible play into each other. The worst meta GBL's ever had was Noctowl, Trev, and Lantern. It's very strong, but I think in a positive way to the meta. Acid buff. I'm pretty sure we like acid buff. There is nothing too controversial about buffing acid. I actually think acid buff was already put somewhere. I don't know where it was put, but I feel like B tier works. You want to know what is one of the best things on here? Making Iron Head and Heavy Slam different. Why are they the same move? Why? Keep Iron Head the same because Iron Head is on Dialga, and just buff Heavy Slam. Making Iron Head and Heavy Slam different, I think, is an A tier take. All right. Next up, we have Robert. Nerf Aura Wheel for the love of God. This might be a hot take, but this is jail worthy. That thing's stat product is 1581. I am going to go to rankings, and I'm going to sort by stat product, and we're going to start scrolling. Someone play circus music while we scroll. Wow, look. We have to keep going. I just saw a Geodude. And now we're 1500s. We have passed Sawk. Here's Morpeko. Next to Liepard, Meowscarada, Sawk, and Munna XL. Making Glassymon strong is the way to do it. You don't make Bulkymon strong. You make Glassymon strong because you can just farm them down. We are putting that take in jail where it belongs. No, it's very glassy. All right, next up we have Joltar, Triple Axle Milotic. This is pure cinema. Milotic has deserved a cheap ice move for a very long time. To me, this is a very good buff. Triple Axle Milotic, you're doing a great job. Next up, we have Mosh Pit, Razor Leaf Nerf Reverted, Smackdown Nerf Reverted, hashtag Grasshole Forever. I know they're memeing, but I have to put it in jail anyway. It's been very fun to watch people have to actually play with intelligence. I've enjoyed it. This is one of the more skill-intensive metas we've ever had, in large part due to the Switch timer. Bastiodon is so bad that Morpeko wins the 1s and 2s. A 1581 stat product mon cannot be smacked down in the 2s by Bastiodon. Bastiodon is trash now, and I'm all here for it. It's insanely washed. Never bring it back. Tangent, Psywave plus Icy Wind plus Thunderbolt Starmie sounds incredibly cool. I have to sim. This turns it into like a quasi-competent mon. 42% win rate in zeros, 46 in 1s, 45 in 2s. I think that's like high A. All right. I think we've done it. We've made an entire tier list. All right, serious S tier list is all UL Gastro players should be put in jail. Psywave Latios, very cool. Shadowclaw Armaldo, it's too high. I just like Armaldo. Revert Psychic Nerf's a good one. Fury Cutter Psywave clone. The Altaria one, I did put up here as a meme. Obviously, Boom Burst and Roar of Time are memes too. And then Psywave plus Icy Wind plus Thunderbolt Storm. You know what? I think that belongs in S. We're gonna make any last second adjustments. But overall, I feel like we cooked here. Let's revisit the important part. The straight to jail. Nerfing Hydro Cannon, giving Ursaluna a +1 damage lick, so it's 4-3. Buffing Geomancy and Psystrike, doubling up on Brave Birds, buffing Counter Energy, giving Shadow Claw to everything in the game, buffing Bug Bite because you can't buff Araquanid, buffing Carbink for no reason, making Umbreon a god. You were buffing Toxapex, so we can't do that. Force Palm Metacham, nope. Psywave Mewtwo, nope. By the way, anytime Yasser says this shit, we gotta just be like, Yasser, no. Yasser has a lot of good takes. That is an atrociously bad take. Psywave Mewtwo. Force Palm Poliwrath, no. British Jail for Jamie. Making Yawn viable, no. Buffing Araquanid, no. Rollout Bastiodon, no. Buffing Chansey, no. Nerfing Aura Wheel, no. Liquidation Azumarill, no. And Grasshole, no. I feel like we cooked on this tier list. I'm gonna slowly scroll. I feel like we did a very good job with this tier list. I'm very proud of it. Thank you for watching. Haven't already, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, as this is the second channel. Thank you to everyone who hung out in chat today. We had fun. We had our laughs. We sentenced a lot of people to jail sentences. If you want to appeal your jail sentence or argue your case, do so down in the comments. I'm very curious to hear your reasoning. All right. Thank you guys. I'll see you later.